So, folks, we're going to talk about Renee Good. We're going to be talking about her murder at the hands of ICE. We're going to be talking about some of the new information that has come out over the last 24 hours. And we're going to be talking about different responses people have been having to her murder. And it is going to be rough. I'm asking you at the top of this to lock in. We're going to be talking about a lot of different aspects of this. And we're going to be also taking a look at new footage that was put out by conservative aligned outlets that are they're trying to claim justifies her murder. It does not. And right up at the top, I'm going to tell you guys my tolerance for people trying to play devil's advocate and say, oh, no, well, actually, maybe it kind of was, justified. It's just not. It's just not. Like, we've all seen the videos. We've all seen the video breakdowns from the New York Times, from Bellingcat, etc. We know that that's a load of horse shit. We know that in the footage, she is turning away from the ICE agent. The ICE agent is clear at the time he begins firing, and there's just no justification for it whatsoever. If anyone wants to make an issue of that during today's segment, you're just going to be insta-banned. There's not going to be any kind of back and forth with you. I've looked at it enough. I indulged that enough when we were initially talking about it, and I regret indulging it. So, right off the bat, I don't think it is worth engaging with people who are acting in such bad faith. So, with that being said, let's talk about it. Starting with the fact that they have now identified the ICE agent who shot and killed Renee Good. His name is Jonathan Ross. He was essentially revealed by the fact that Kristi Noem talked about him and talked about how he had been involved in a vehicular dragging incident where he had been holding onto a car trying to detain an undocumented immigrant as they drove away. And so he had been involved in that incident. That narrows it down pretty significantly because no one in the area had been involved with anything like that except for one, Jonathan Ross. And he's apparently cleared out of the area. The place he was living seems to be empty. It is unknown his whereabouts at this time. And a lot of the aftermath here is essentially trying to figure out how are charges going to proceed in this case. Largely because the Trump administration's FBI has stopped cooperating with the bodies that are local here in Minnesota that are designed for to operate in conjunction with the FBI in law enforcement shootings. Essentially, after the killing of George Floyd, after George Floyd's murder at the hands of Derek Chauvin, reforms were passed here in Minnesota to have an organizational body that is responsible for investigating use of force incidents by police and law enforcement here in the state. And the FBI had previously announced that they were going to be cooperating with that investigatory unit, and then abruptly said, oh, wait, JK, we're not going to be doing that. We're actually going to cut you off, which is a really big deal in this particular instance because it effectively means that local investigators are being denied access to things like the vehicle, like, Renee Good's vehicle for forensic analysis. They're being denied various different aspects, witnesses, they're being denied ICE agents who were at the scene who might be able to testify. This has effectively become a cover-up in a matter of hours. And it is disgusting. It is enraging. But this does not mean that no actions are going to be taken to try and charge this ICE officer locally. In fact, the Minnesota Attorney General has put out basically a call to the community. And so if any of you are local, this is for you, as well as the Hennepin County attorney who has jurisdiction to charge locally and who has said essentially that if they can get the evidence and accumulate enough of it, then they will be willing to proceed with charges. And right now, because the FBI has cut off a lot of the sources of evidence, they are now requesting that people in the community submit evidence. There's an online portal and everything. You can actually find the online portal here. Hennepin County, Minnesota Attorney's Office evidence submission portal. Let's just take a look at this news report if we can. Well, that's an ad. We don't need an ad for that. Thanks.
Whatever your opinion is about what happened, this was a traumatic event. Since this happened, I've been on the phone and in meetings with law enforcement, justice leaders, elected officials, discussing ways to ensure a thorough and transparent investigation, how that can occur, and be shared with our office. On Wednesday, our immediate focus was ensuring that an agreement could be reached for a joint investigation with the BCA and the FBI. To be clear, and I want to be very clear about this is not because we have concerns about the FBI investigation. Our efforts in advocating for a joint investigation is not an attack on the FBI. We have had a strong working relationship with the local FBI field office throughout my administration. Based on a previous experience.
This is the Hennepin County attorney, by the way.
With FBI processes, we are concerned that the evidence obtained in an investigation that has only been conducted at the federal level will not be shared with our office for review. In the past, the FBI has invited us to see a high-level overview of their investigation, but we were prohibited from seeing the entire investigation or talking about what we saw in that PowerPoint publicly. While I respect the FBI's process, our community's expectations are much different in terms of transparency.
It's true.
This community expects to understand what the evidence is and the justification for any decision that might be made. To that end, I cannot overstate the importance of a local investigation, or at least access to the federal investigation by the BCA. Without it, we will not have the ability to be transparent with our community about the results of the expectation, or, as I said, any decision that might come of the review. And let me be clear, we have no preconceived opinion on what the evidence will show. Making a charging or decline decision in...
And keep in mind, these are some of the things she's saying are things that she has to say. Like, as a prosecutor, like, she wants to make sure that she's not coming across as biased when she's choosing, like, cases to pursue, etc. But what is very evident is that the FBI is now acting extraordinarily weird and out of character. We're not going to be watching this entire press conference, but just to give you kind of an idea that official gears are turning on this. And for as much fire as we might want to see from different elected officials, the local Hennepin County attorney is probably one of the people we want to have most neutral facing the public on this one. Just especially if we don't want to prejudice any kind of court case that may happen in the future. Because again, if the that can have an effect. Your words and your rhetoric can have an effect on future prosecutions in this case. And is the BCA the body that was created after Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd? Yes. It is there to investigate any officer that has a use of force against them in the state. We are now looking at ICE essentially doubling down in the local area. If anyone thought that the murder of Renee Good was going to lead to a chilling of ICE activity or a period of calm, they have been sorely mistaken, at least as far as ICE is concerned. Speaking as somebody who's seen the protests happening, the protests have been remarkably chill compared to how ICE has been treating this community. And I want to give a few examples of that. For one, ICE has been spotted all over the Twin Cities area today, specifically targeting shoppers at Target. Greg Bavino has been present for a lot of these. In Richfield, they obviously staged a big raid. Again, these people just coming in masked and pulling over anyone who looks visibly queer or non-white that they think might in fact be, well, honestly, it's not, at this point it's very clear that it's not about undocumented citizens or undocumented immigrants at all. Like, they're, in this case, they're just straight up arresting US citizens at a Target. They're just pulling over anyone they think they can get away with brutalizing, etc. And we'll talk about exactly kind of what goes into that here. Here is Border Patrol pulling over 2 white women in a car who are, taking some action to keep ICE from, making their arrest quotas. Border Patrol warned 2 white women in separate SUVs to stop trailing them and not to impede. Don't make a bad decision today, they say, threatening these women whose only crime is using their freedom of speech and freedom of movement to go where they will on public roadways. Anybody visibly queer? Yeah, we'll get to that one, by the way. Yeah, here is some of the violent protests coming out of Minneapolis. And again, I want to really make clear here, the violence is coming from ICE agents themselves. Take a look at these messy, disgusting, and hateful agents, again, coming into our communities to disappear our neighbors and rough us up and try and detain us, regardless of immigration status. Here they are.
Get out the way!
Shooting people point blank in the face, by the way, with non-lethal munitions. I just really want to emphasize here, non-lethal munition as a designation doesn't mean that the munition can't kill you. Something can be called non-lethal if getting hit by it reduces, like, it has, compared to a lethal round, has a 50% chance of killing you. So, like, if you get hit by, like, if you got hit by, say, a bullet, has a certain percentage chance of killing you. If that percentage chance is halved, it can still be called a non-lethal munition, even though it can still kill you. You can see in this video here, this person this ICE agent fires their non-lethal munition directly into someone's face, standing 5 feet away, maybe. Like, I gotta be honest with you guys, this is effectively attempted murder. Like, if you see cops or riot police or ICE agents doing this, this is something that can kill someone or maim them for life. And they are doing this routinely.
Right in the face! All on video, you motherfucker! All on video!
Like, you saw the cartridge, right? You saw the cartridge he pulled out of that gun.
Video!
Look at how big that is. Look at how big that is. Yeah, it's like firing a grenade into somebody's face. Is that guy okay? I have no idea. Unfortunately, in a lot of these clips that are being shared around, I do not have updates for you about the status of the people who are getting hit in them.
All on video! Do it again!
Also, this is a residential area. You can see the people in their house. Like, they're shooting tear gas and stuff in a residential neighborhood. There could be kids in there who might, like, have respiratory issues. Here they are getting hit by snowballs, by the way. And look at this guy gets hit by a snowball and immediately runs to try and beat up the guy.
This is not your vendetta. Hey, keep that
going. Your tax dollars at work. Bunch of ICE agents chasing people who throw snowballs at them. Yeah, they certainly need $100 million more. We're gonna take a look at pictures of this guy, but just look at what unfolds here. This is, again, attempted murder. He has his hands up. Like, he knows it's coming, too. He closes his eyes, and he gets fucking just shot in the face. There's something about these ice pigs. They just love shooting people in the face. Like, I gotta be honest with you, it is only by the grace of God these ICE agents are able to, like, come through our communities and brutalize us like this, because they are, like, just surrounded by people, and at some point, like, they're gonna push this too far. They're gonna push this community too far, and I'm really, really scared to see what is gonna happen at that point. You know, I have to be honest, that's exactly what, like, Stephen Miller and the Trump administration want. They want someone to take action on their own and give the Trump administration a reason to clamp down even further on this community. But, like, it's a strategy that might work. I gotta be honest. The amount of rage in this community is overwhelming at the moment. You might not be able to tell that, but there is a level of don't give a fuck energy going on in this that I haven't seen in protests for a while.
Fuck you! Move!
Look at these clowns. Like, someone throws a goddamn snowball and they run to try and shoot them in the face too. These dipshits from Texas keep slipping and sliding on all of our ice because they don't know, ironically, how to maneuver on it. Keep in mind, some of these ICE agents literally have SS tattoos on their necks. We saw a video, you can see it in the video I put out earlier today, of an off-duty ICE agent in Minneapolis with an honest-to-God SS tattoo on his neck. These people are just loving being able to come into queer and immigrant communities here in Minneapolis and try and brutalize us.
Get out of here! Get out of the way! Get out!
Yeah, I don't know. Like, when I say prosecute every ICE officer, I mean like every single one. Every ICE agent, every ICE bureaucrat, every single one. When this agency is disbanded, every single employee of it needs to be prosecuted. Because look at this. This guy's just standing there, minding his own business, and that ICE agent just sprays him in the face. What threat? What threat was he posing by standing still, not moving, not even gesturing? In the video, he's not even saying anything. He's just standing there and will not be moved.
Get out of the way! Get out! Get out the way! Get out the way! Truck!
Then they assault him.
Tear gas! Tear gas! Tear gas!
Tear gassing a neighborhood.
Tear gas! Tear gas! Get out!
Just want to point out, tear gassing, like, journalists as well. Like, journalists are here, like, with their local news crews covering this. That tear gas grenade landed right next to that cameraman.
Minnesotans peaceful. We love our neighbors, and we don't want fucking mass creeps running around shooting them.
There's the commander, Greg Bovino. This Nazi fuckwad keeps wandering around and showing up at the different raids in this community. It's difficult for me to express my rage towards this man. But those are some scenes that have taken place around Minnesota and Minneapolis in particular. But I want to share some more personalized accounts. So here is one from earlier today where an Indigenous woman ordered food on DoorDash. And when her food arrived, her DoorDasher ran into her house because ICE was pursuing her and her husband.
To open the door and they have a warrant, then
They don't have a warrant.
They said they'll get one.
They
And
said
they
they'll
called the
get
police.
okay, if they get one, then they're gonna break the door down.
That's
But-
fine, but I don't want to open the door if they don't have a warrant. Because this was my DoorDash lady. I don't even know the lady. She just ran to my house.
All right.
I have a baby here. Like, I really don't know what to do.
Even on
I'll
the-
open the door if the police, say that I have to open the door, but, like, I don't know what to do. This lady just was shot yesterday. Now, I ordered fucking food and there's people outside my fucking house.
Cheyenne, I'm on my way, okay? All
What do
right.
I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm so scared. James, come downstairs.
Cheyenne? Cheyenne.
What? I literally ordered DoorDash and now there's ICE agents around my house because the lady ran in my house and I don't know what to do because I don't know. They have no warrant. They have no warrant. They said that they were going to get one. I don't know what to do. I called the police. The police are on their way. I can't ignore it. I have a baby here and they have guns pointing everywhere in my house. I have some random lady in my house. I have my child barricaded.
They're looking in our backyard, too.
They're looking at everything. They're everywhere. All because I ordered some fucking DoorDash food. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna have a fucking heart attack. This is the lady's license plate. They already took someone out of her car. I called the police. The police are on their way. I asked for a warrant. I just fucking ordered some fucking food and then some lady ran to my house.
The DoorDash lady ran in our house.
Yeah. As far as I know, the other person who was taken from the DoorDasher's car was her husband. And again, an important component of this and part of why this woman is scared is because she herself is Indigenous. And when it comes to who ICE is pulling over, stopping, and detaining, Indigenous Americans are very high up on that list. There are many, many, many stories from not just Minnesota, but across the country of ICE agents detaining and abducting Indigenous people, especially Indigenous women, and not believing their identification. Or, like, even if they have, like, their, like, all of their identification, they do not believe it, do not care. And again, it's why you're getting U.S. citizens being detained at huge numbers now with what ICE is doing here in, Minnesota, especially. They're deporting Indigenous people. They're detaining Indigenous people, which means they are arresting them, and who knows how long they spend in custody. They're not deporting them, but hey guys, if you're employed and you suddenly don't show up to work for several days, do you tend to have a job waiting for you? No, just the detaining can ruin somebody's entire life. And in some cases, if they don't believe you, then you're going to have to fight for your right to be released back into the public. This is again, we call them the Gestapo and a secret police force because they operate outside of the normal bounds of the law. Again, groups of people in the United States, like Indigenous folks especially, have historically not had their legal rights respected even under normal circumstances. It's really, really scary. Luckily, due to the actions of that woman and her partner, ICE agents were not able to detain this DoorDasher. She is free and safe at the moment, but her husband is detained. You know, she has to go home to an empty house. Our community is showing up, but ICE agents are doing real and lasting damage. And I wanted to point out here, it is active in our communities. And I wanted to share something that I found yesterday. I apologize for the graininess of the footage, but this is from a local furniture store, like a furniture antique store. It's called Find Furnish. It's actually a really nice antique store that I'm familiar with. It's in Northeast Minneapolis, which, if you know anything about Minneapolis, Northeast is considered like one of the gay areas of the city. It's not known for its immigrants. It's not known for, being, noticeably less white than some of the other areas of the state, but it's known for being queer. And why ICE was targeting this area of town, who can say? Although they seem to be particularly active in the gay parts of town, which I don't think is a coincidence. Here you have ICE agents brutalizing a queer couple, and seemingly for no reason. And we have this footage thanks to the owner of Find Furnish. So, and I do want to say, I think people like this are local heroes.
Go arrest Trump! Go arrest Trump! Go arrest Trump! Go arrest Trump!
So this is one half of the couple. The other half is on the other side of the street. You'll see the camera pan this way soon. But ICE agents here are preventing her from going to her partner, who is being roughed up by ICE agents. Stay back, it's gonna be fine.
They just picked someone out.
Get a real fucking job! Get a real fucking job!
You can see here ICE agents just converging on a very small woman.
Oh, shit!
You might not in fact be able to see her because she has so many ICE agents on her. There you can see her partner is trying to pull her out of the grasp of the ICE agent. She's yelling, "Help me, help me." Looks like her face broken and bleeding onto her scarf.
Get your fucking hands off her! Fucking hands off them!
I'm Marty Navarro! Marty Navarro!
Hey, stop! Get your hands off her!
My wife!
Two children.
What is your name? What is your name?
The world is watching.
Get your hands off her now! She wasn't doing shit!
She wasn't doing shit. How many of these maniacs are in the city? It's unknown the exact number that are active in the city. We do know that there was a massive surge of ICE into the local area after Nick Shirley published his horrendous journalism video about Somali daycares doing fraud. If any of you want to see a full and thorough debunking of that, I put together a 3-hour-long one going through his video. You can check it out. It's over on the YouTube channel. But they are just abducting people off the street, and if like folks are saying, oh well, you know, maybe she was in the way or something, but like it's insane. It's insane. Like being in physical proximity to any of these clowns increases your likelihood that they just look at you funny and decide they're gonna ruin your life today. What is the update on these two? As far as I know, one of them has been released from custody. The other is still in custody. The one who got released is was released with several broken bones from the beating received by ICE. Yeah, they announced they're adding another 1,000 ICE agents today. Yeah, this was already the largest ICE operation in ICE's history, in DHS history, and they're making it even bigger as they go. And it is scary. But we were here before they came here. We're going to be here after they came here, after they leave. And but I got to be honest, I have never been as furious as I have been over the last several days. The infliction of harm upon this community is going to last for a long time, and it cannot be allowed to remain this way. It cannot. We must abolish ICE. We must prosecute every single ICE agent, and every single one of them needs to be held to account for what they've done. Every single one. And one thing that is giving me hope right now is that people in Minneapolis are showing the fuck up. And I wanted to share with you guys. Here is Find Furnish's, the guy who owns it, Brian, talking about what he just saw happen.
Sure, the door's locked. So we're a business in Minneapolis, and we are being impacted by the administration, the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, any number of things. That is interfering with our ability to do commerce. That is interfering with our ability to communicate with our audience via open hours in a protected space. I'm saying that is a First Amendment violation, and probably a bunch of others. So if there's any smart lawyer out there who also happens to like vintage furniture and likes a bossy, bitchy motherfucker who's ready to fight, I'm here. I follow the rules. I take notes. I don't get violent. I yell. I need a real pipe. They're blowing whistles. Come on, let's go. They're blowing whistles.
And this is what gives me hope about this community and about what is happening right now, because we've got people here who are running towards the danger. You know, we have organized sufficiently to ensure that many people in the Twin Cities area have the whistles, the orange whistles that people are using to call out ICE's presence and danger. And when folks are hearing those whistles, they have the training to safely observe and record what is happening and organize a response so that there are so many cameras pointed at any given instance of ICE violence, because people are running towards the danger. Because average working folks are being courageous. When we talk about how the right is trying to monopolize ideas like good versus evil, or, you know, heroism and virtue, and say that, oh, conservatives have all of that. They have to try and do that. There's a concerted effort to do that because the real heroism is a guy who runs an antique furniture store locking up for the day after witnessing people being brutalized on his doorstep, so he can run towards more instances of that happening to try and ensure that when this is all done, there's accountability for people involved, and also so that he can try by his presence and through his advocacy to keep people safe. This is when I talk about people needing to get together with their local Dems and their local DSA and like organize and get connected with different groups in their community and show up to like city council meetings and show up to park board meetings. Part of the reason I advocate for that is because building this kind of community matters. Building this kind, like giving these kinds of tools to your community, letting them know what to do, informing them, it allows people to step up to the challenge of our times. Okay? And Minneapolis doesn't have a shortage of guys like this, guys like Brian. A lot of folks are out there doing their part every day in 1,000 different ways. And your part might not look exactly like Brian's. Brian is like a white dude who presents very masculine. And like that offers him a degree of protection that other people might not have. But people are standing up in however way they can. And it is from that we should take hope. And towards that we should work. Okay? And folks, I'm going to just put a call to action here. If you are feeling angry, if you are feeling hopeless, if you are feeling like there's nothing you can do, you're wrong. You're not wrong to feel that way, but you are wrong that there's nothing you can do. Join your local Dems, join your local DSA. These are groups that are active and available to almost every single one of you. And if you get involved, if you don't know how to get involved, you can join our Discord, !Discord in any of the chats, and reach out to GamerG for help getting involved in your local DSA. Reach out to Dragonfly for help getting involved in your local Democrats. And if your Democrats suck, I understand. A lot of Democrats do. But you know what? Make them not suck. That's part of the challenge of organizing. If your local DSA is more dedicated to sitting around and being ineffective, make them more effective. Like I understand that there are challenges inherent to getting involved in any kind of organization, but guess what? You guys are brave, you guys are strong, you guys are capable, and I believe that you guys can rise to the challenge of going to some meetings and advocating for a better world that we all collectively agree upon and believe in. Okay? I think you guys can do that. I believe in you guys. So I'm asking you, figure that out. I'm going to be talking about more actionable things later on in today's stream and towards the end of today's stream, or towards the end of today's segment here. But right now, if you want to get involved, join the Discord, reach out to GamerG, reach out to Dragonfly, and get the ball rolling on that. Now, I do want to say also that a number of folks are stepping up in the community in Minneapolis, and this goes for any of you who are local to Minneapolis and or want to like come and volunteer in Minneapolis. There is a group, defend612.com, for folks to join. And basically, you can sign up for newsletters and you can sign up for different areas of the Twin Cities. And you can get involved via that with community defense and responding to ICE. You can volunteer to protect schools from ICE. You can become like a local community captain, which I guess is pretty specific to people who live here. And you can volunteer to provide like photography, video, interview services to get people's stories out there. There are a lot of different things that you can do. You can distribute, propaganda and recruitment stuff to get more people involved in the effort, and a lot of things you can do. I'll link that here right now. There you go. Defend612.com. That's just locally. And folks, I do want to really emphasize here, we got to be careful. Minneapolis is particularly unsafe at the moment. Within the last 24 hours, several different targets have been raided by ICE. And the highways have checkpoints where people who look non-white are being pulled over. And any of the public facing markets, farmers market type events that may have been taking place, they're getting hit up by ICE as well. So there's been a lot going on right now that make it extremely scary for folks to be here. And I do want to say one thing as we move forward here. I'm about to play, and just kind of content warning, I'm about to play footage of Renee Good's murder. Okay? This is new footage obtained by Alpha News, which is a local conservative outlet, like hyper-conservative, hyper-partisan outlet in Minnesota. And my guess is that it was deliberately leaked to local press in order to try and facilitate a narrative among the right that, oh, Renee Good had it coming. And, well, let's take a quick look here. Now, this is footage from the ICE officer who shot Renee Good.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change
I'm not mad at any of you.
our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine.
That's Becca Good. This woman right here.
Later.
That's Becca Good. Got out of the car to film ICE.
That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us?
Disabled veteran. Becca Good.
You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car.
Becca gets in the car.
Get out of the car.
Moves to get in the car.
Whoa!
And at this point, you can then hear the shots. And he says, fucking bitch, after shooting her in the face. This footage is being heralded on the right as footage that shows, see, she ran over him, and then he had to fire in self-defense. But it doesn't exonerate him at all. It's not like this, if anything, just shows the murder even more, like, justifiably. There's no way this guy feared for his life from a guy, from a lady who is saying, I'm not mad at you guys. You're all good. It makes him look worse. Yeah, I'm not mad at you guys. It's all good. Fucking bitch, he says, after having shot her in the face. Her last words were, I'm not mad at you. Yeah. And, like, you can see here, like, the car starts to move forward a little bit. He's jostled. He moves the camera up so that people can't see because he's drawing his gun. And then that's when the gunshots are heard. But, like, I got news for you guys. If somebody's run over by a car, they're generally not able to hold on to both their phone and their gun. Just generally speaking. Here are the two angles synced. That is very, very useful. Awesome, Stella. Thank you very much. There we go.
Change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car.
Whoa! Yet you can see here, at no point was he in danger of being run over. At no point. We did this in the other video too, and we went frame by frame. There is no point at which his body is totally in front of the car. He quickly, after moving to walk in front of the car, backs up. By the time he fires his shot, he is not even in the path of the car at all. And then you hear the fucking bitch. Nah, I'm sorry. None of this justifies any of that officer's actions. And I encountered one of the ideas that has been put forward here by the release of this footage, which is to show who the Trump administration is saying, if you brutalize them, that's okay. Right? Because what they're trying to say here is that if a woman looks like that and acts like that and talks like that, you can kill them. You know, if a queer woman, queer liberal is inconveniencing you, you can kill them. Like, that's what they're trying to say. And they're trying to put this out there, and their messaging around this is essentially not just for ICE, but for anyone on the right who wants to take power into their own hands. That's their argument here. They're trying to create a permission structure for this to be done by any of their supporters to anyone who opposes them. And I gotta be honest, the response from Democratic leadership on a national level has been infuriating, to say the least. Schumer and Jeffries refused to join Democrats' growing calls to slash ICE spending. When asked about this, they just didn't say. When asked about whether or not they would slash the spending, they both just kind of mumbled and didn't give a clear yes or no answer. Well, they didn't give a clear yes, we are going to support slashing ICE's budget, which is, again, an answer. We understand where their position is. They think funding the slaughter and abduction of your neighbors, my neighbors, is totally acceptable. Like, I mean, guys, just look at this. It's unbelievable. You can see it happen in real time here.
We certainly aren't buying it as it relates to the
Leader Jeffries, why not use that was a murder in Minnesota? Do you believe that was a murder?
I issued a statement. The statement speaks for
Leader,
itself.
why not restricting ICE a red line in the funding fight? Must that be part of any funding bill?
Our focus right now, in terms of the appropriations bills, are getting the 3 bills that are going to be on the floor today over the finish line, and then we'll turn to the Homeland Security.
But why not use the appropriations process to rein in ICE, Leader Jeffries?
No, what I'm focused on right now, Chad, is to make life better for the American people by extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you here, Jeffries. I think you can pat your head and rub your tummy at the same time. You can make life more affordable for the American people and also protect the American people from being abducted off the street or murdered by unaccountable secret police. I think actually preventing us from being murdered by secret police and abducted by secret police is a way to make our everyday lived experience better. Speaking as somebody who currently lives in a city that is being militarily occupied by these creepy fucks, you know? I would like to be able to go to the grocery store with my partner without worrying about whether or not one of us is going to get abducted by ICE. I would like for people to be able to just go about their daily business without worrying that they are going to be brutalized by ICE or shot in the face. It'd be pretty nice, actually. I think living without that fear improves your life quite substantially.
By the way, a lot of folks in this institution believe was not possible, but Democrats made clear before the government was shut down that we were in this fight until we win this fight.
Why is he acting like attacking ICE would be bad for him? Part of me wonders if it's because he gets private prison donations. I don't know this for a fact, but I do wonder, where is the money for their campaigns coming from that they are not willing to give an answer with a spine on this one? The only conclusion I can come to is that they get some pretty big donations from the private prison industry, which is making tons of money off of ICE detentions.
On behalf of the American people, cancel the cuts, lower the cost, save healthcare. That's our objective.
Should ICE be abolished?
But why not use the...
What about calls to impeach Secretary Noem and the concerns about her
Kristi Noem is a complete and total disgrace. I've said repeatedly.
Yeah, we don't care about what you're saying. We want you... What are you doing? right? Like, the question isn't, do you like Kristi Noem? Do you think she's a respectable person in office? The question is, are you going to support the impeachment of Kristi Noem? That's action. What action are you going to take? And Schumer and Jeffries have a whole lot of words and not a lot of actions.
A stone cold liar. She's corrupt. She does not deserve to be the Homeland Security Secretary. We'll figure out the accountability mechanism.
We'll figure it out. I mean, there is one really big one where you could try and remove her from office. That's the big accountability mechanism here, Jeffries.
At the appropriate.
But why not use appropriations to do that, though, Leader Jeffries?
Yeah, incredibly on the ball question. Why not actually use the power you do have right in front of you right now? These people are deeply disappointing. As, like, people within my community are getting literally shot in the face left and right. Look at this guy. Look at this guy with a goddamn huge gun pointed in his face. Literally a second later. Just, goddamn. Goddamn. And, like, I see folks trying to say, oh, it's a uniparty, it's a uniparty, it's a uniparty. But some people locally are responding a bit better. And that response is largely driven by those of us on the ground. You guys, me, folks who are working class, everyday people who are not elected politicians who have been bought and paid for by the largest corporations to ever exist. Here is Sean Hannity trying to get one over on Minneapolis protesters live on Fox. Let's take a look.
Spoken to any people, or can you speak to anybody that's marching right now and ask them what it is that they're marching about?
Yeah, man. Who could say, why are people marching in Minneapolis about a federal agent summarily executing a citizen and neighbor?
Yeah. Excuse me. Can you tell us, what are you here marching for?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, my ears are ringing a lot, so I don't know if I'll hear perfectly. But, yeah, I'm just here because I think it's absolutely disgusting what ICE is doing here. I think it's absolutely important that they're kidnapping people. I'm disgusted that they murdered an innocent human being. And, yeah, the entire thing just absolutely abhors me. This has to stop immediately. What we're seeing right now is, frankly, an ethnic cleansing. It's disgusting.
Hey, Garrett.
And it needs to stop. And I'm glad that there's so many people out here trying to stop this, because it's just important, and we
Garrett,
need to stick together to stop this.
Does he have a concern that the woman was driving her car at an officer? Does it concern this individual?
When you saw this video that is out, did you have any concern that it looked like this woman may have been driving her vehicle at the officer?
That's not what it looked like to me at all. And I mean, like, even if you did assume that was the case, which it absolutely is not, we are supposed to train officers to be responsible in these situations and judge the situation objectively, look at it reasonably. Like, there just absolutely is no justification for this. But again, looking at the video from both angles, I know that there was another clip that came out earlier today from, like, a different angle. You can very clearly tell that she is evacuating the scene. There is, like, absolutely no evidence that there's, like, any, like, attempt to drive the vehicle into the officers.
Garrett, last question. What should we do with people that don't obey our laws and come into the country illegally?
What do you think we should do with people that have come into the country illegally who are here, is the question.
I think they have the right to be here, frankly. I mean, that's just my opinion, but I think they have the right to be here. I think that's just a basic human right is freedom of movement. We recognize that in the United Nations Charter. That, in my opinion, is just a fundamental human right that all nations ought to recognize. And I'm glad that some people are standing up for that basic human right.
And what's your instrument of choice?
Instrument of choice? I just found a bell in a bag. Someone was handing out free stuff, so there we go.
I gotta be honest, this absolutely wretched narrative that conservatives are trying to peddle about this murder being systematically dismantled by that joyous protester is wonderful. Like, it fills my heart a little bit, you know? It gives me some hope that this country is not so far gone. And I do want to take a look at how locally people are responding. Because again, if you are someone who's like, oh, it's a uniparty, then you have to answer to what, like, folks are putting together, both elected officials and local officials, putting together events like this. And now this is essentially a rally put together for local political figures and parents, specifically school board members as well. Because yesterday, well, 2 days ago, rather, Roosevelt High School in Minneapolis was attacked by ICE agents. They violently abducted multiple members of their staff, multiple teachers, in front of the children at the school, and all of them U.S. citizens. All of them U.S. citizens. They singled out non-white members of staff and abducted them. In response, today there was just an organizing, again, outdoors, for members of the community to talk about what had happened and what we're going to do.
This last Wednesday, we saw the impunity with which ICE agents are willing to point guns and use chemical irritants around children, around neighbors, around caregivers, and around educators. We have this last...
Like, it is not the same. Local Republican politicians are not doing this. They are sitting back and they are fully complicit and fully happy about the attempt to scare and intimidate non-white people out of our communities. And it's not going to work, by the way. Like, that effort isn't going to work, but they love to see ICE agents brutalize their neighbors. They love it. Here's a statement from Jason Garcia, who's elected to the Parks and Rec Board of District 4. From the elected city government to the school board to the park board, all of us must unite and join hands and push back on the violence we're seeing from ICE, HSI, and Border Patrol agents. We are limited in what we can do statutorily, but we can and must support our community members in this time. ICE is not wanted here. The tyranny of the federal government is not wanted here. Our neighbors speak loudly and clearly. Fuck ICE. Prosecute the murderer of Renee Good. That is one example of how local community is responding. Here is the statewide Minnesota DFL putting out a statement earlier today. Our schools must remain a safe place for every student, parent, and educator. The continued presence of ICE in our state is causing further trauma, chaos, and grief for our schools. The Senate Education Committee chairs and vice chairs call on ICE, leave our students and our state alone. From the chairs and vice chairs, our schools must remain a safe place for all students, parents, and staff. And I just want to say shout out to State Senator Steve Swadzinski. He taught me American history in high school. And you know what? He was damn good at it, too. And he's a good egg. And honestly, it made my heart feel really happy to see that he's out there fighting the good fight against these fascist fucks. You know, he taught me in high school all about the events of World War II in depth. He taught me what fascism can do, how fascism rises, how fascism is evil, and now he is out there fighting fascism tooth and nail, and I, for one, really appreciate it. Finally, like, from that event you just saw, Minneapolis Families for Public Schools, impossible, catastrophic escalationists, ICE. ICE is not cool. We love our immigrant neighbors, prepared by the Immigrant Defense Network. And you might notice something about these signs. They're all being held by children because schools were under such threat by ICE over the past several days that the school district closed down. Schools were not open over the last 2 days because of ICE, because they've been so unsafe and violent towards our schools. And that left the children time to show up to these local protests. And kids shouldn't have to do this. They shouldn't have to. And it's been really nice to see different local elected officials. You've got multiple state senators. You also have the Lieutenant Governor, Peggy Flanagan, showing up, who is running for state senate. Folks are turning up in this time, whether elected representatives or average people. And I wanted to share I believe, two more things here. So first of all, here is Senator Tina Smith, who is bowing out of future elections, but Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan is running for her seat in the near future. Here is Tina Smith.
With funding set to lapse January 30th. Your sense of whether or not there is appetite now among your colleagues to put some constraints on DHS?
Well, I certainly have the appetite to do that. Chris Murphy is a close friend and ally of mine in the Senate, and I agree. I don't know how I could vote for a funding bill for ICE when they are behaving and for the Department of Homeland Security, when so much of what they are doing is illegal, is lawless. And in addition, it is so clear that we need reforms to ICE. Let's just take the one issue of how they are.
Now, I do want to say, Tina Smith was spitting bars until she said reforms to ICE. Nah, there's no reforming this. There's no reforming an institution that is made up almost entirely of white supremacists. Like, there's no reforming an organization that has a $100 million recruitment campaign specifically geared towards bringing in Nazis and members of the KKK. There's just no reforming that. You got to disband it. You got to abolish it. And you got to prosecute each and every one of these Weasley fucks. You know, I think we have two people here. Two people here who understand exactly what is called for in this moment. And they are both of the people, so to speak. So let's take a look. This is at the local Timberwolves basketball game the other day. They had a moment of silence for Renee Good's murder.
Yesterday in our Minneapolis community in the loss of Renee Nicole Good. Our thoughts are with her family and everyone affected, and our hearts are with our community as we hope for healing and unity during this challenging time. Please join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. We're saddened.
The moment of silence being respected by everyone and ending with "Go home, ICE." I mean, like, guys, they're not gonna beat us. They're not gonna fucking win. The people of Minneapolis are rising up. They are not sitting idly by while their friends and families and neighbors are being targeted. We are, in fact, organizing each and every day. And folks, y'all need to organize in your areas too, because this isn't just going to be a Minneapolis and Twin Cities thing. They want to do this everywhere. Their $100 million recruitment push is so that they can do this in every major city. And and once they have cracked down fully on those cities, spread their tendrils out to every suburb, every rural town in America. These people are insidious. They are an infection. And we cannot allow this to get any further than what it is right now. And I'm going to end on this legendary clip that had some music put over it. It was just so good. And then we'll keep on going here. But here you have it. Here is a local demonstrator, a Vietnam vet, showing up outside of the Whipple government building here in Minneapolis to let ICE know exactly what he thinks of them. Let's go.
You bitches!
Right here.
You heard it from me.
White supremacists.
That's right. I hope you can see through those thick-ass glasses that you fucked up. You stand there and sanction this bullshit, and they kill a woman. They're ruining businesses that have been here for generations. They're fucking up this community. You can go home safe, but no, you're here to terrorize this city. A bunch of bitches if I've ever seen a bunch. And I'm telling you to your face, and if you don't like it, fuck you.
And I think that energy is exactly the kind of energy that is echoing and rippling throughout all of Minneapolis. Okay? If anyone speaks for the people who live here, it's that goddamn king right there. No kings but that guy. Am I right? So, all that being said, folks, People are rising up. People are taking note. And you know what? We're going to win this shit. So, all that being said, if you got anything out of this, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Subscribe. And please really do organize with your local Dems. Really do organize with your local DSA. We have people here to help you if you don't know where to start. Join the Discord, reach out to GamerG for help with your DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. And finally, folks, consider checking out ImogeneOlivia.com. It is lingerie designed from the gender euphoric lingerie, even designed from the ground up for trans femmes. But guess what? We tested it with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. If you are interested in checking that out, link should be down in the doobly-doo. And let's keep on going, because we're going to defeat these ICE motherfuckers.
Riverboat Jack is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack.